Okay, so I did this back in 2016. Actually, I guess it was 2017 when I did it, but I did this for 2016, so I'm gonna do it again for 2017. 2017 was a pretty good year. Fishing was great, had a lot of moments. So I'm just gonna go over my top 10 favorite moments of 2017. Number 10, I would have to go with flat fishing with my boy, Nick D. He and his mom, well, I guess his mom, drove us down to Philadelphia for a day, and this was literally, I think, my number one fish on my bucket list at the time. Same for him too. We wanted this flathead, and June is like the time to do it, and for some reason June is like the best time to do it, and so we went down there, and I immediately hooked up. We actually missed a few bites at the start, maybe one or two bites, and then I hooked up with a monster. I mean, this thing, we can both agree, was well over 15 pounds, probably in the 20s, and it broke me off. Got stuck in a log or something. And then we literally tried to change spots, and no joke, drove all over Philadelphia. I feel so bad for Nick's mom for doing that. Oh my gosh, we drove everywhere, and then we came back and immediately got one out of this 13 pounder. We were so hyped, and then we missed tons of bites afterwards. They were definitely flatheads, but when we were setting the hook, we were setting the hook into the current, so we didn't get a hookup. But then we got Nick a flathead too, beautiful fish, and that was so much fun. Number 9 is really very, very interesting one. So this is actually I'm putting kind of two in this. So it's basically charter boat fishing this year for saltwater. So one charter boat we went on was, it was Sean, me, and Nick, and we were staying at Nick's beach house down in I forget what town it is. I'm not really gonna bother saying exactly what town it is. And we launched out of Brielle, and we met up with Jeremy the Mastercaster and his friend Cooper. I think he has a YouTube channel too. Yeah, it's called Ginger Fishing TV. Anyways, we went out there and we just absolutely put a freaking clinic on. I mean, we just slayed bonito, slayed mackerel. Also caught a new species. It was called a sundial flounder. So that was a really awesome day. Definitely, that entire weekend at the beach house was a really memorable day for me. Well, really memorable weekend for me. And then the other time was Reed, Sean, Nick, and Jake D. And we all went out on a false albacore trotter, which is basically like a small tuna, and they fight one of the hardest fighting fish in existence. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. It was quality fish, not quantity, but that's what made it really special. And it was definitely a day I won't forget. Number 8 was a really big deal for me. It was my birthday. My mom, really sweet of my mom, for my birthday, she decided to wake up early in the morning for me and take me out. And so we went out to this lake, and I was originally going for walleye or hybrids or just, something cool. It was a little too early in the year for that, but I ended up getting into an entire school of very nice tiger trout and a good rainbow as well. That was just a really memorable experience for me as well, because it was on my birthday. So that's really, really awesome. That day, it was actually just the morning. I caught like 25 trout or something like that, maybe more, in less than an hour. That was just absolutely nuts. On the kayak too. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. They were beautiful fish. There's a lot more I could just say about that day, but it's just pretty straightforward. And it was also one of my best videos ever, in my opinion, to this day. I worked really hard on that, so yeah. Number 7 speaks for itself. Freaking grass carp. One of the biggest freshwater fish species in my area, if not the biggest, maybe like besides sturgeon. Otherwise, they are pretty much the biggest freshwater fish, and there are not many of them around here. So when Sean Smith told me that he had a spot for grass carp, I was all in. No way am I passing that down. But I didn't just get it on my first try. I think I went to that pond 5 times, and I finally got that on 6-pound test. Thank you to Sean Smith once again. That was, who is texting me? I want to talk about grass carp right now. Anyways, that was amazing. I think it was like a 20-minute fight, which was freaking one of my best fights ever on that rod. Doesn't really get much better than that. Pretty straightforward. Piece of bread, light line, 19-pound grass carp. Boom. this is where it starts getting awesome. Now, this snakehead catch this is pretty much a fish that I've wanted to catch since I was a kid. I've tried many different places. I've tried in Maryland. I've tried all over New Jersey. This fish was caught in Pennsylvania on a frog in the summer. I think it was the last day of August. I did not catch this fish immediately. Once again, this was a fish that I worked for all day long. Actually, I worked more than this day, but in this day in general, I actually was on the kayaks originally and didn't catch anything on the kayaks. So found this one pond on Google Maps. It looked really weedy. Thought there might be snakeheads in there. Also heard of one catch being in there. And there was actually a bass tournament going on, like with bass boats. And I managed to catch this thing from shore. Definitely one of the most memorable moments for me. I actually almost cried. It was so awesome. Big snake on a frog. Freaking right. This is probably one of the most interesting stories. I'm not going to go into too much of this, but there was 2 specific days. I'm actually just going to talk about the second day, but one day it was in the middle of summer, and Sean and I were catching hybrid stripers on rattle traps. Then we came back, and I think this was in October, I'm almost certain, and we were using spoons in the early morning for these big hybrid stripers, and these things are so much fun. Easy one of my favorite fish to catch. There's no reason why someone wouldn't want to go for these fish, and not many people do. It's kind of like a hidden secret around here. Actually, pretty much a hidden secret anywhere. Yeah, we caught pike as well, some big bass. It's just in general, I think the one specific day was just definitely one of my best days of fishing this year, maybe ever. Alright, this was at number 4 is actually a 4-day trip. It was 6 days in total, 4 days of fishing to southern Florida with Sean Medvar. And we went down there. We did 4 days of fishing. Day 1 was focused on Broward County. We fished the Everglades area mainly. We caught some tarpon. Well, actually, no, we caught one tarpon. We caught some peacocks. I caught my personal best peacocks. Some gar. We kind of fooled around that day. Day 2 was all about clown knife fish, and we couldn't figure out the clown knives. I caught a couple peacocks, but we did also catch some snakeheads in the morning. Sean got his first snakehead as well. Day 3 was probably the best day. I knocked some cichlid species off my list, including the jaguar guapote. I also caught a snook, my fat snook. That was my 200th species that I caught. Sean got a nice snook. I think that was probably the most solid day. And day 4 was a mess, but it was also definitely one of the most fun days. We fished with Brandon Bellato, non-stop fishing. Actually, he changed his Instagram name. Brandon's new Instagram name is island_life16. I literally just opened up Instagram and it was the first thing that popped up because he caught a peacock. Anyways, yeah, so we tried for pacu, we tried for grass carp. Sean caught his first papoka peacock. Brandon caught a nice tarpon. I didn't get any footage of that day besides the Midas cichlid that we caught. Midas cichlids are very, very cool. So that was definitely one of my best vacations of all time. That was just a very, very awesome trip with Sean.
There you go. That thing is sick. Oh my god. Oh, look at this color.
Number 3 is by far, I don't know about by far, but definitely my best day of trout fishing ever. We drove all around everywhere, fished like 8 different bodies of water. I was fishing with Chris Galden and Sean Medvar. That was a really fun day. I broke my brown trout PB by 11 inches long. Also caught a 25-inch rainbow and lost what was estimated a 28-29 inch rainbow in a very small pool. And I actually could have walked in and grabbed that fish as it came off, but Chris said, you know what, you could have easily walked in and grabbed it, but you can just count it if you want. But I'm not really going to count it because there are bigger rainbows out there to be caught. I also caught a new species called a cutlet minnow, but that's not really the main focus of this freaking day. This day was insane. Big browns, big rainbows. What more could you ask for in a small creek? For number 2, this was the last day of April and it was the first heat wave of 2017. Usually days in April are in the 60s, maybe high 70s, but it's usually like 50s, 60s. But this day was mid 80s, and the pike bite was just on. We originally were going for walleye with shiners. We were slip rigging shiners and throwing them out in like 25 feet of water. But after Sean accidentally caught a pike on that spinnerbait, we were like, all right, screw this, we're gonna go for pike. So I go back in this cove and smack my second biggest pike ever, 34 inches, 11 pounds. Still to this day, well, still my biggest pike of the year. I'm probably, hopefully, going to break that again. My biggest is 36, but that one was a 34, so biggest pike in 6 years. And then I also caught a big pike. Well, actually, I lost it. I never landed it, but on a little crappie magnet and suspended in like 25 feet of water, which was just ridiculous. What a freaking day that was.
Look how frayed my... No, it's not short.
Before we go to number one, I'm just going to say some honorable mentions that could have made it, that were close to making it. Number one, I would say when I went with Reed in November, I caught 26 pounds of my 5 bass limit, 26 pounds for one person in New Jersey. That's insane. Next would be that day, trout fishing with Marco. We absolutely slayed. It was probably almost as good as the other time. For number 3, it was probably almost as good as that. We probably caught a huge trout. Marco caught his first tiger. Saw some browns. We caught some browns. Saw a palomino. That was definitely Marco's best freshwater fishing day ever. Then next would be my first palomino trout. I caught 3 in that day in a pond, stocked pond, right by my house. So that was definitely really cool. Hopefully they stock more palominos in there. Then the next one would be Florida in February. Day 1 and day 2 were definitely better days. Day 3 and day 4 were not very good. But day 1 and day 2 were definitely good days. You should check out that series on my channel. Then next would be salmon fishing on the kayaks. I didn't get a video because my footage got corrupted, and I still haven't been able to go back out and make another salmon fishing video. So that's something I got to do, as well as lake trout. And then last but not least would be the accidental pike I caught, where I was specifically targeting pickerel in a lake that doesn't have pike, and I somehow caught a pike in a lake that doesn't have pike. 33 inches and 12 pounds. Tie's my heaviest pike ever, but it's an inch under the longest. Well, an inch under the longest pike of the year. So that was freaking insane. There might be more pike in there. I might try again, but it's probably just a crazy catch that I might not really do again. Number 1 is a pretty broad topic. Bass fishing this year was awesome, but more specifically, pre-spawn bass fishing this year was amazing, and even more specifically, a 48-hour period between April 11th and April 13th, where I caught my personal best New Jersey largemouth and my personal best New Jersey smallmouth. So, April 11th after school one day. Let's see. So I went to a pond, and my first fish was a freaking 7.25 pound largemouth bass on a jig. Definitely such an amazing catch for me, and my biggest bass of the year as of now actually caught another 7-pounder, but it was 7.01, so not as big as that one. Still awesome though.
If not, oh, that was a giant. Damn it. Fuck. Hate losing big fish. I want to catch the fish I just missed. It was a giant. I love it when a 5-pounder takes... That might be him. He's about to jump. Definitely a smallie. Head shakes. Yep. That's a 5-6 pound smallie. Oh my god, that is a 6-pound smallmouth.
And then 2 days later, the first day of spring break, just Sean and I, unfortunately the video is horrible because it's pitch black, but Sean and I absolutely found a school of smallmouth, and it was just a school of bass unlike anything we've ever seen before. It was just unbelievable. I can't even put into words. I think our best 5 that day was like 27 pounds or something just absurd, like unspeakable. Sean and I both caught smallmouth bass over 5.5 pounds, and you just, here, I'll show you the pictures of them, but you just can't tell how big they are in the video because it's just pitch black. But hopefully we'll get another day like that in this pre-spawn, but that was definitely a day unlike any other, and we went back to that spot and we just could not do as well as that one day. That one day was just completely out of the ordinary. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an absolute blast. 2017, you guys have been awesome subscribers, and let's try to make 2018 better. I'm sure there's going to be a way to make 2018 better. Hopefully some bigger fish, hopefully more fish, catch a new species, break some new personal bests, and that's all I got to say for you guys.
Oh my, that's another 6-pounder. Look at that thing. Oh my god. Belly. Yo.
Oh my god, I can't believe this.
School of 6 pound smallies. There might be more.
I can't believe this.